Wade, Elkan Baggott in from Ipswich for the rest of the season on loan. Tell me about him.
Good profile, athletic, can handle the ball, good size. So fits in technically what we're looking for. Culturally, I think he's young, he's hungry, which I think fits in with our DNA and what we're about. And he's also had, he's had experience of first team football, and he's been in a couple of scraps, so ticks a lot of boxes for us.
I guess the one question mark, but that's why he's here, isn't it? That can he make that step up from League Two, having spent the first half of the season with Cheltenham?
Yeah, I think that's why. I think if you put yourself in Elkan's position, he's got an opportunity to come and prove that he can perform at League One standard. So if he can do that, he's ended up having a very good season. He's had 20 games in League Two. We've given him the opportunity to come and play in League One. So I say that he'll be hungry and he'll buy another point to prove. I think that's a good attribute, a good quality for a player to have.
Yeah, certainly heading in the right direction. Is he effectively cover behind Lewis Freestone's injury for you?
Well, it gets us back to 5 centre halves. So I don't think it's a secret we play 3 at the back. So we've got gets us back to 4 would have been a little bit of a stretch. So it gets us back to 5 centre halves. Good competition in the area, and hopefully now they'll push each other on, and that'll help everyone keep performing to the level that we've shown up to this point in the season.
Obviously, you're not showing your hand there tactically of what you're looking to do, but are you happy to do that in a way? Just have the 5 of them and let them scrap it out.
I think that's the same all over the pitch. I think we've got 5 centre halves. We've got a few options at wing back now. We're well stocked in midfield. So no, we don't have I like to think we have a competitive squad where people are snapping at each other. So whichever 11 have got the shirt know that there are people behind them chomping at the bit to step in. So you have to maintain your level of performance.
And you mentioned his height. He's 6'4". I mean, that's going to be useful in both boxes, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, hopefully. I think if you're making a list of what you're looking for in centre half, he's certainly got a physical presence. So, and I think he scored 3 goals for Gillingham this season. So, hopefully a threat in both boxes.
You were pleased with the performance against Derby last weekend. How much do you just need to go out and sort of deliver more of the same against Plymouth to give yourselves a chance this weekend?
You've been listening to my team talks, Paul. I just said to the lads.
Always, Wade, always.
Just said to the players when we debriefed the game, I think they've just got to concentrate on finding a level of performance, because ultimately, you go back over some of our games recently, we've been done by Weldy at Plymouth when we play Plymouth at home, been done by a Weldy at Derby, an offside goal at Rovers, but the performances in all those games have put us in the conversation, in the mix. So all we can keep doing is performing, giving ourselves a chance, and there will come a time when people aren't banging in 40 yards goals against us and the bounce of the ball goes for us. So just keep churning out a decent level of performance, put ourselves in the conversation, keep asking questions, and our time will come.
I seem to remember a spell a little bit like this last season under Michael, and he always just emphasised the game owes you nothing, and you've got to go out there and do it every time, but eventually hard work pays you back. I guess all of those things still apply.
Yeah, and it's one of that. I'm like, that's laughing because we say that a lot. Hard work will pay you back. So stick to the process. We talk about stick to the process, concentrate on performances. Don't, my job's to be a little bit more objective, and because the result can colour how you come away and look at things. But when you look at the Derby game, the Plymouth game at home, the performances were very good. So stick to the process, keep doing what we do, and eventually, like you say, your hard work will pay you back.
Does it feel like you're playing Plymouth every other week at the moment? Because obviously you've got the trophy semi-final coming up against them, and you only played them at home on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I think it's just the way the fixtures fall sometimes, isn't it? I think there's always one or two teams that you play in close succession. Being really honest, the cup game's not on our radar yet. We're fully focused on this weekend.
But I guess you know plenty about them. You know obviously what's required, but you also know that you can give them a game.
Yeah, we know. Well, I don't think it's arrogant to say, but I think when we hit our levels and when we're at our best, we think we're competitive against anybody. Obviously, we know Plymouth. We know a lot about Plymouth. We know they're a good side. They're top of the league for a reason. So, not taking anything for granted, and the home record's very good. But like I say to you quite a lot, we'll concentrate on us, on getting to our level, and like I said there, we'll try and find a performance.
What news on Liam Sercombe's injury?
It'll be Sercombe be a couple of weeks. Hopefully not too bad, but he's in a boot to let it settle down.
Everyone else okay?
One or two niggles and a little bit of illness, but we'll assess them today.
Do you expect anyone else in before Saturday?
No, I think we'd be. I'm not expecting anyone in. I'm not sure when they have to be signed. 12 o'clock today. So no would be the answer to that, Paul.
Thanks, Wade. Good luck.
Cheers.
Wade, just on Liam Sercombe, I know you won't want to spend ages talking about somebody that can't play this weekend, but how pleased have you been with his form this season?
Yeah, he's been very good. So you all know, everybody knows Sercombe's quality. I think he's performed to a really consistent level, and I think he's enjoyed the responsibility without being he's a leader in a different sort of way, Sercombe. Without being a screamer and a shouter, I think he leads by his. I can imagine as a young player, he would be look back at my own career, and you look to seniors. Sometimes they gave you reassurance because you always knew they were going to hit a certain level, and I think Sercombe gives that off. So he's been very good. We've been really pleased with him, and yeah, thankfully we don't think it's going to be too long.
Since that worldie that you mentioned from Whittaker, he's gone, hasn't he, from Plymouth since Boxing Day? But they have added Callum Wright, who I think could be making his home debut, or he's in contention to make his home debut on Saturday. So you worked with him during both spells, Wade, didn't you? How would you sum up Callum's contribution to those achievements at Cheltenham?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about Callum, to be honest. Great kid, really good player, and he scored some vital goals for us. So yeah, they've lost Whittaker, but they've added a really good player in Callum. They've added the centre forward, Wayne, and they look like Finn has come back as well. So yeah, they've lost Whittaker, but they've added some. Alongside with Matete, they've made some good signings in the window, and it's a very strong squad.
Yeah, Finn a bit earlier. He signed for the club, I think, the same time you came in, didn't he? And he like Callum, played a big part in Cheltenham's success. But I think the club also probably helped those two a lot, didn't they, with development of their careers at early stages?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think we're good with our loans. So one thing we do is we give the loans an opportunity to play, but we don't we treat them like one of our own. So they get the work, they get the time, they get the effort, they get the feedback, and I think if you ask Finn and Callum, I'd say this was a really good spell for them in a formative stage of their career. So yeah, both did really well for the football club, but I think we did pretty well for them as well.
Yeah, Taylor Perry, one of the current loans. I'm not trying to preempt your team too much, but I'm guessing he's strongly in contention to come in midfield. How much of an opportunity is there for him now with Liam Sercombe being out for a couple of weeks to try and establish himself after, obviously, he's still finding his way back after the injury, isn't he, I suppose?
Yeah, well, he was pretty much a fixture up until that TP. I think he only missed one game up until that point. So he'd come in, and I thought he'd done really well. Up until the injury TP. He's had a little spell away from it, and like you say, I think he'll be really looking to kick on now. So I thought he was steady, first half of the season, steady, good, but he's got real talent, real ability, and I think second half of the season he'll be looking to take things by the scruff of the neck and really stamp his imprint on the team and on the season, because he's certainly capable of it.
It's become a regular feature now, but do you remember scoring against Plymouth in a 4-0 win for Burnley under Steve Cotterill?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. This is good, this, John. Did I ever score? I scored. We've got next Chef Wed. I've definitely scored against them. Don't know if I scored against Vale. Yeah, I do. I don't remember the goal, but I remember we hadn't won we were on a horrible run. And we hadn't won for about 18 games. And I think I set the first one up for Duffo. I think I put a free kick in and Duffo scored a header, then I scored later in the game. So yeah, it's a big win for us, that. Yeah, it's a nice little feature you got going on there, Judge. I like this.
That's what the post-it notes are, all your goals against current League One clubs.
Yeah, you'll need a bigger board, mate.
But it's final one, Wade. It's going to be a sellout at Home Park. It was a good atmosphere there last year. I'm sure you played there several times. You know what it's like. But they're top of the league, sellout. It's sort of something the players should relish testing themselves against, isn't it? Is that going to be part of your team talk as well?
No, not particularly. I would say enjoy the. Like I've said to you before, I think for the club and the players and everybody else, we worked really hard to be involved in these sort of games. So Derby County, full house at Home Park, Sheffield Wednesday. It's it's unprecedented times, so go and enjoy it. But ultimately, I said to the lads yesterday, it's 11v11. It's a 100 by 70 pitch. You could have 200,000 in the crowd. Once you're on the pitch, it's 11v11. They can't help you on there. So go and approach the game in exactly the same mindset as we did the home game. Go and get in people's faces and get up against your man and go and compete.